To see how you're doing as a vet practice or as a consultant or whatever, it's very useful to compare the performance of your herds against national benchmarks. So for Johne's, we use the National Johne's Tracker database, which has nearly 2,000 quarterly testing herds in it. So a very good indicator of the Johne's position in the country. So how does your herds and your clients compare against that? So the first thing to do, instead of just displaying one herd, we will select all the herds that we want to look at. So this is I clicked on the herd selector, it lists all the herds for the current user, and I can select any combination or all of them, Control A, or I can click one, Control click will add another, Control click will add another, Shift click will join up the last two clicks. If you wanted to only look at herds that have recently Johne's tested, then sort the data by that value. So this is the date of the latest Johne's test. So if I click on that, it puts them in ascending order. I click it again, it puts it in descending order. So now I can pick all the herds that have Johne's tested since the 1st of December last year. So there we go. So that was a shift click to select all those herds. So I save that, that's the herds I want, and I now have 20 herds that we are in the selection. Now I go and look at compare that to the national picture to the Johne's disease database. So I click on that, and this will now display for me the Johne's parameters of both my clients' herds and the national tracker database. So it takes a minute or two to display all the data because it's calculating them from scratch. The displayed data when it comes is your herds in blue, your client herds, superimposed on the national tracker Johne's database. So you can see, perhaps most importantly, how distributed your herds are. How many herds do you have in that worst quartile of the ones with the really most serious average test value, the highest level of disease in the herd? If you want to identify who an individual herd is, you just drag through and it will tell you who the herd is. Yeah, so any herd you want to see, you can work out what their figure is, work out who it is, and so on and so forth. If you want the names, you just go to the KPI data, and there it will give you the name of the herd and the current value of that herd. If I go back to the graph, I can also look with when you've got the average test values, we can define the Johne's control index, which the target is 5.5 by 2030, but currently the displayed herds, so taking the average of each of the average test values of those herds, gives us a figure of 6.61. Of course, the easiest way to get below that 5.5 will be to work on and sort out these herds over here. Very important other thing, if you look at the herds that are in that worst quartile, and then you change the parameter from average test value to the Johne's J4 rate, which is the new infection rate, you will find that the herds with high new infection rates are almost invariably the herds with the high average test value. So this is the task that is the primary task in these herds, is to do a risk assessment and to work out exactly how the disease is getting from the dam to the calf. But just go back to the average test value. You've got a choice here. You can look at all the key the Johne's parameters at your leisure. Every one of them. You can see where they are. You can see who they are by clicking on there. The progress graph gives us an indication of how the average test value has changed between now in light blue and 3 years earlier, controlled by that figure there. So I can identify herds that have made significant improvements. Okay, I'm working on J4 at the moment. Perhaps I should work on the average test value. So this herd has made massive improvements on the average test value. So they've gone down from 11 in 2021 down to 5 in 2024. So you can see very clearly herds that are making significant progress, but also herds that are beginning to go the other way. and perhaps need some attention. But again, if you go to the progress graph, progress data here, you can see where they are now and where they were 3 years ago. And if you sort by the previous value and get the highest at the top, you can see the progress that these worst ones have made. So this herd has made spectacular progress, 11.6 to 4.9. This one 8.2 to 5.5. But some of the other ones are not so good. So really, really powerful.